Petersfield's Shine Radio.
In the local news, people in Petersfield want more facilities for cyclists and more greenery, according to the results of a survey. Local traders are working together to take advantage of the end of many COVID restrictions. A Petersfield councillor wants to see better access for disabled people around our town. And another mobile phone mast could go up in Liss, just metres from an existing one. I'll have details of those Petersfield stories after the national and world news.
Serving the Petersphere with a brighter mix of great music and local information. This is Petersfield's Shine Radio.
Boris Johnson says investment in global education is a Swiss Army knife for solving virtually every problem that afflicts humanity. Speaking at a summit attended by a host of developing world leaders, the Prime Minister says he was proud the UK had pledged £430 million last month to the Global Partnership for Education. He also says we need to give girls a fair and equal education to boys.
There are too few girls in school, and there is a gross disparity in the education of boys and girls. And if you end that injustice and you give every girl in the world the same education as every boy, 12 years of quality education, then you perform the most fantastic benefits for humanity.
More than 7 million UK workers are missing out on full employment rights because they've been in their job for less than 2 years, according to Labour. It comes after the party called for the qualifying period for full employment rights to be scrapped. Labour say their analysis of the ONS Labour Force Survey data from the period of January to March this year shows that 7.2 million people have been in their job less than 2 years and so do not have protection from unfair dismissal. US President Joe Biden says millions of federal workers in the US will be required to verify that they've been vaccinated against coronavirus. The alternative will be to face mandatory masking, weekly testing, distancing, and other new rules. And rail leaders have called for a public meeting aimed at boosting support for the future of the Eurostar train service. Officials fear the future of Eurostar is uncertain and want the government to offer more backing to the service and its workers. And finally, Scarlett Johansson is suing the Walt Disney Company over its streaming release of Black Widow, which she says breached her contract and deprived her of potential earnings. In a lawsuit filed yesterday morning in LA, the Black Widow star and executive producer says her contract guaranteed an exclusive theatrical release. That's the latest from Radio News Hub. I'm Peter Reid.
Petersfield's local news.
I'm Laura Shepherd at Petersfield's Shine Radio. Petersfield Town Centre could get more facilities for cyclists and more greenery with planters. That's if council officials act on the findings of a public consultation. Hampshire County Council received almost 1,000 responses to its survey in February and March. Ian Crossman has been studying the results.
The council wants to use money from central government to encourage what it calls active travel. That's council jargon for journeys that don't use a car. But people were split on whether its proposals offered any benefit to Petersfield. 46% said they didn't, 44% said they would. And among people who use cars to get around, more than half believed the proposals were unhelpful. 70% of respondents were in favour of more cycle parking in the town, while 44% said they'd like to keep the ban on car traffic by the banks. If further funding was made available, the survey results suggest people would like more places to sit and rest and more greenery with planters around the town.
We'll put the full survey results at shineradio.uk. And if you're in Petersfield today, you'll notice the plastic red and white barriers have been removed. Local traders have marked the end of many COVID restrictions. Owners of independent local businesses, including some we've been supporting through Shine Radio's Shop Local campaign, met last night. The mood at the function was buoyant, and Dave Heath, owner of the Charles Street Tap, Stephen Watts from So Creative, and Joe Bicknell from Hector's Menswear spoke of the benefits of meeting with other business owners.
It came about because we've got a WhatsApp group between us with the aim of promoting our own businesses across Petersfield and creating a little community.
We've been able to successfully navigate this COVID rubbish and get through it, hopefully all of us intact and ready to open again.
It's great to finally have a place that we can get together, talk about the challenges of the last year, talk about the opportunities ahead, and also soak up some of the positivity coming out of local traders for the future.
A Petersfield councillor wants to see better access for disabled people around our town. Councillor Blossom Gottlieb was voted onto the council in June. At 20 years of age, she is the youngest councillor in Petersfield. Blossom says she has a personal insight into the opportunities for improvement in our town.
Because I've been disabled since I was 10, there's a lot of stuff around accessibility that I'd really like to be involved in. Well, I'd really like to work on street maintenance and making the streets flatter so that we can have cyclists. It'll be easier to get around the town for people with prams and also wheelchair users. And I think that will help not only accessibility but also make it a bit greener, because the more cycle paths we have, the less likely people are to use cars.
Another mobile phone mast could go up in Liss, just metres from an existing one. Here's Harrison RB.
Network operator EE wants to site a new 13-metre mast close to Liss railway station, even though there's already a pole in the station car park, but it says it's too complicated to share the existing mast. The latest planning application is just one of 3 in the Liss area which await a decision from the South Downs National Park Authority. An earlier bid to place a mast on Mint Road has met with fierce opposition from local residents, while one to build a tower at Wilds Farm is opposed by local people and the farm's owner. The phone company is under pressure to improve coverage along the railway line through Liss and Petersfield.
And there's nothing old hat at Petersfield Museum this weekend. If you fancy making a new hat from paper, you can do that on both Saturday and Sunday in the museum's learning space. It's a free family event and runs on both days from 11 until 4.
Petersfield's weather with Hector's Menswear. Stylish clothes and accessories for all weathers.
Good morning, Petersfield. It's Friday 30th July and it's Isaac here with the weather. Rain is expected until 12 o'clock, when the chance of rain drops to 30%, where it stays until 6 p.m, when the rain should stop altogether. The temperature will reach its peak of 19 degrees in between 2 and 5. It will also be very windy today, with gusts getting up to 40 miles per hour at midday. Looking on to tomorrow, rain is expected all throughout the day, and UV levels will be high and pollen low on both days. Have a good morning.
Travel news from across the Petersphere.
No more restrictions around Petersfield. The red and white stripy barriers were removed yesterday evening by the council. It means cars can pass between the banks on the edge of the square for now. In Petersfield, gas pipeline work continues on Dragon Street, with temporary traffic lights causing delays both ways. There's water work on King George Avenue that's set to continue into August. In Priorsdean, Goley Farm Lane is closed by South East Water until later today. And there are minor works on College Street, Bedford Road and Buckingham Road in Petersfield today. Now, just a word about the A3 next week. One lane will be closed southbound overnight on Wednesday from 9 p.m. until 6 on Thursday morning. The closure will be from the Liss Garden Centre turning down to Tankerdale Lane, that's by the golf club. And on the railway, there's maintenance work tomorrow between Guildford and Alton planned. If you're heading to Farnham or Alton by train, expect a replacement bus to take you part of the way. And if we're not saying what you're seeing, just let us know and help update this information for everyone. Call Petersfield 555 500 or email team@shineradio.uk.
Rise and shine with Petersfield's Shine Radio.
Rise and shine. Whenever local information comes in, you'll be the very first to know.
You'll feel those ribs expand. And
I'm doing it.
Are you doing it?
Yeah.
Oh, welcome back to Rise and Shine. You're with Alan Coss this morning.
What could be better?
Good morning. It's good to be with you.
I'm Harrison RB. It's the brighter way to start your day in the Petersphere.
As long as you're breathing, you're doing okay.
I'm with you, Vicky.
Rise and shine, weekday mornings from 6 with Petersfield's Shine Radio.
I think that's lovely.